How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Joker and the Smoker. I'm Isaac.
I'm Brandon.
And we're back for another episode today.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, man. It's another week going by. Hopefully you guys had a good week. I've been doing pretty good. How about you, man?
I couldn't complain. That song was Kid Cudi, Pursuit of Happiness.
And what happened to him? He hasn't heard anything new from him
He went to rehab. He released a rock album.
I was going to say he went the Lil Wayne rock route, didn't he?
Yeah, but his biggest influence of all time was Jimi Hendrix. He just never had the...
it's not easy to play guitar, that's for sure.
Yeah, he never thought he had the skills or the confidence to pick it up and play it, so he made rap.
And that's the great thing about music.
Rap is easy.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. When you don't have one means of talent to express your musical creativity, guess what? There are other avenues, and it's like that with a lot of things in life. Just because you're not good at one thing doesn't mean you can't be good at something else that's kind of related to that, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's cool. Well, awesome. Let's try to think. What's our first segment here?
The first segment is me recording a podcast by myself because you couldn't show up, and we need to let these people know why.
Why couldn't I show up? I had to help my dad roof the house because lovely Ohio weather. It just snowed yesterday morning. Earlier last week, it couldn't stop raining all week, right after the rain and between the snow, it was like Wizard of Oz out here because it wasn't quite a tornado, but I think there was a tornado warning in some places, and a bunch of wind blew a bunch of shingles off of my roof here because I live in the country, and the wind gets to whipping when there's not buildings all around you to block that wind. So I had to help Dad get up on the roof and do some shingles. And then later in the week, I ended up helping him tear the deck of the back porch completely apart.
Where's wind come from?
That's a great philosophical question.
No, it's not. It's so easy. You're overthinking it.
It's God's breath, right?
No, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
Well, what is wind? Wind is breath, right?
No.
Breathing is wind. Yeah, breath is wind. It's air moving, right?
Yes, but no. Wind is created from the difference in pressures.
Jet streams, right?
The difference in pressures.
Difference in pressures. Well,
difference in air temperature.
Right. Yeah, but what is it called? Barometers. Do barometers measure the pressure in the air? I believe that's the instrument tool.
Yeah.
And then air gets thinner as you go higher, right? Mm-hmm. That's why I can't breathe when I get high.
And they'll have a flippity flop.
Right.
And that's when the winds get real bad. They'll have a flippity flop.
But how's that intense wind come all the way down here?
Because the hot air goes up.
That's right. Hot air rises.
So then the cold air has to come through.
Why do people say hot air rises? Why don't they say, instead of that, why don't they say cold air falls? It doesn't roll off the tongue as nice, right?
That's a great question, man. You have to look that one up.
Right? So yeah, that was my dilemma for that day. But I heard you recording. I haven't had a chance to listen to it. But
I recorded a podcast. I recorded me talking to myself for 50 minutes.
How'd you like that? Was it interesting?
It wasn't bad. Yeah. I thought it was interesting. I was drinking alcohol and I played a lot of music. Hey,
there you go. You might get. I don't know unless we put it on YouTube. I don't think a lot of other services do copyright stuff nearly as strictly as YouTube.
No. Well, I didn't have video, so I was like, I'm not gonna put this on YouTube. So fuck
exactly.
I'll just play music.
That's awesome.
Be a music party.
And really, like I was telling you, sometimes if you're hanging out by yourself, just turn on a microphone or turn on a camera and pretend like someone's there. Talk to yourself. It's a funny feeling how relieving it is to just get some things off your chest and just talk to yourself, People think, oh, I talk to myself, I'm crazy. Like, no, you're not. Everybody does it to some extent, and it's pretty beneficial and therapeutic in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for a therapist. I'll just talk to myself.
Yeah, definitely. Talk to the voices in your head.
That'll get me through. Other than that, I took a road trip yesterday. We were going to record it last night, but I ended up going to Michigan. But before I went to Michigan, I had a long day. Okay. I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning and drove all the way to Kentucky, and we were in the middle of fucking Ohio.
Yes.
And
good old Midwest.
Then I was there for 15 minutes, turned immediately back around, drove all the way up to Columbus again. Took 5 hours.
Wow.
And then I hopped in the car to go all the way up to Michigan. And not like the bottom of Michigan.
Yeah, you had to go
Ohio. It's like the middle of Michigan.
Wow.
So then I come back, and I didn't get back home till like 10:30. And I was just tired of sitting in the car.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And I knew you were driving all day, and I texted you. I was like, hey, man, I know what riding in a car feels like, and I didn't even know you had to do it to Kentucky. So
yeah, well, that wasn't the plan, but it turned out to be that way.
And I still think, like, as humans, I have this weird thought that, like, our bodies still haven't acclimated to the technology we have to travel long distances. Like,
not.
Sure, we have the ability to fly in the air for 14 hours and get on the other side of the planet. But what is still hard for our human bodies and minds to do is sit in a confined space for 14 hours, 35,000 feet in the air.
Right.
Or be in a little, 6x10 box like a car moving 60 miles an hour for 12 hours across the country. It's a really weird thing to put a human in a box to get there, but we do it. We're willing to do it as explorers and humans,
I slept in the back of the car.
Yeah, if you can sleep, that's the magical thing of being a human too. If you just fall asleep.
My boss was driving. He just slept in the back.
There you go, man.
Said, don't even try to talk to me, dude.
What is it about that's what I was getting at. Like, we used to ride in horse-drawn carriages, right? Mm-hmm. You think people used to fall asleep on the Oregon Trail the way people do on the highway now?
Fucking bumpy, dude.
It would be, right?
But shit's not paved or nothing, but I imagine so. I mean, you put a couple blankets down.
Oh, yeah, there's this guy at work who drives, like, a floor cleaner around, because I work in a warehouse, and sometimes he'll go and park the floor cleaner and fall asleep on it. And I swear it's just because he must be, like, sitting on a riding massage machine.
Right.
And, like,
he's ready to go to bed.
There's something that's just, like, the white noise of it all.
How do you get that job? How do you sleep on the job and clean floors on a machine?
But I feel bad for him too, because like he just gets shit on all the time by everyone, because like I don't know.
Yeah, because he has the easiest fucking job there.
He falls asleep still, and
he deserves to get shit on, but he shouldn't take it like that.
Yeah, and I don't.
He should be like, I have the best job here. Sorry, guys.
Right, and I'm not a body shamer or anything, but he is morbidly obese, and it's just
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it adds to it, and like I think people feel bad for him and also make fun of him, but it's a fine line between the middle where you're like, at least the guy's got a job and shows up, that's why he keeps the job.
At least that.
That's cool, man. But yeah, so the road trip, anything else exciting happen on the road? Run over any live animals or people?
No, I seriously just sat I drove all the way down to Kentucky for 15 minutes.
And you slept both ways?
No, I had to drive myself down.
Oh, okay.
And then I got back to Columbus and immediately hopped in. I was probably in Columbus for 10 minutes, hopped in the car, and drove my happy ass all the way up to Michigan for 30 minutes, and then hopped back in the car to drive all the way back down here. Damn. We had a funeral we had to go to in Michigan. Yeah. But I had to do something for work.
Take care of stuff in Kentucky?
Down in Kentucky, so it was a long fucking day, and I don't recommend that shit ever.
Yeah. It's weird how in Ohio you can just go north, south, east, or west a couple hours and be in a different state all directions.
Yeah, and fuck, man, I've been to 2 funerals in 2019.
Well, you going for one every month or something?
No, hopefully no one else needs to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't even think about it, people. Wait until 2020.
Yeah, just put it off this year, Yeah,
just
do yourself a favor.
For a little bit longer.
Hold off on dying.
I don't care if it hurts. Just hold off.
Right.
All right. Other than that, I started my new weekly challenge for myself.
Right. Yeah, and I think I must have missed last week's episode. Your drinking went successful for that whole week, right?
Yeah, I didn't drink
That's
until
awesome.
I recorded that podcast. Right. I recorded Tuesday, and
cheers to that.
I drank way too much, so I didn't even release that issue.
How'd you feel that next morning? Was it worth
No, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't at all. But I ended up re-recording it on Thursday, like 10 minutes right before I released it. Yeah. So.
Oh, right on. So now instead of not drinking alcohol, what's your thing now?
Well, since I stopped drinking alcohol, I just drank a whole lot more pop. Yeah. So I said, fuck that, I'm gonna drink more water.
There you go.
And yesterday, I wanted to go for 8 glasses of water, like 12-ounce waters, and these Dasani water bottles are 16.9 fluid ounces. Okay. And I don't like doing math. That's 4.9 ounces more than 12.
That's right, yeah.
So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to get a gallon. So then I drank the whole gallon at like 11:45. Like before 11:45 at night. I was just chugging. Oh, yeah? I got to 11, I was like, fuck, I got to finish this for the podcast. And that was the worst mistake ever. I took the biggest crap of my entire life, man.
And did you have to go to the bathroom an equal amount of times, or was it just for some reason it converted itself into a big log?
I looked it up, and it is a common thing that people look up.
That's crazy.
When they start drinking more water.
Yeah.
And what happens is your body becomes dehydrated.
Okay.
Like even if you drink like 4 glasses of water, your body becomes dehydrated.
Right.
You're supposed to drink a gallon.
Yeah.
So they say. But what happens is your organs start taking liquid or moisture from other shit.
In your body, okay.
So your colon decides, hey, we are dry, we're going to take some water from your poop. Okay. And then your poop can't slide. So then it gets stuck in there.
Ah, wow, you learn something new every day, huh?
Yeah, I had to learn that this morning. I had to look it up. Because I had to make sure I wasn't dying.
That was not sliding, huh?
Yeah, but if you want to lose 4 pounds, drink a gallon of water.
Oh, yeah.
And just be ready for that night.
That's a uniquely human feeling, is feeling lighter after you just get up out of that.
I think everybody's felt it.
Definitely.
My belt fit. Like, I had to
you can go home your notch up.
Yeah.
That's totally true.
But
like recently, I've been through, like, I'm always the kind of person who wants to have a drink. Like, not alcoholic drink, but I always want something within reach, whether it be water or Coke or something, just any kind of liquid. And often I'll have more than one drink. And it doesn't make any sense why I do it. But I can't ever, it never gets old when I'm so thirsty and actually want a glass of water, taking a glass of ice cold, not with ice in it, just extremely cold water from a glass, particularly from a glass.
It's fucking delicious.
Glassware. It is, man. It's just like, it's like a commercial. When you get done, you're just like, oh, you know, it's like an ecstasy feeling. I
understand what you're saying.
But but we deprive ourselves of it, and we don't. I don't think we realize.
You gotta go with the 3 rule.
Yeah.
3 minutes without air. 3 days without water.
Okay. 3 weeks without food.
And I think it's 30 days without food.
Yeah.
And that's when when you're done.
That's when you're donezo.
Yeah.
It's really like, and if you think about it, it's odd how it's proportionally related. How much of the world is water, and how much of our bodies are water.
60%.
Yeah, it's like to me there's no coincidence that most of the Earth, as we know it, has more water than almost everything else.
Right.
But go drink some water, people. Have a good poop. You know?
Have a good poop. Drink a gallon. Force yourself.
Yeah.
Well, a gallon's only 128 ounces, and I drank 180 yesterday.
Wow.
Well, I got tired of buying water bottles, so I'm just gonna get a gallon.
And that's the thing. You either carry around a gallon every day, or like every now and then you see people with those like Speedway mega gulps. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I hope you don't have.
That's not filled with pop.
Yeah, exactly. Multiple times a day.
And also, I'm kind of scared of kidney stones, so I'm trying to get those.
Yeah, kidney stones and hemorrhoids. They don't. Neither one.
Hemorrhoids pop out because of pop.
Not pop, but just like things popping out unexpectedly in places that you don't expect.
You got a point.
Yeah.
But no, kidney stones. That's a major cause of pop.
Oh wow! I'm gonna have a lot then. I drink way too much.
Let's start drinking some water.
Let's do it. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna jump on board with you on that for sure. I gotta
go for a gallon a day.
Okay. I need to get a decent water bottle. I've been telling myself.
Well, that's what it came down to. I bought a $25 water bottle and I never use it.
Yeah.
Like fuck it. I drank too much pop when I wasn't drinking beer. I'm gonna drink more water.
Drink more water.
So now I'm actually getting used out of my $25 water bottle when I'm not drinking these.
That's what's up.
I've had 4 of those so far today. Yeah. That's 64 ounces. I'm halfway to a gallon.
That's what's up. And at work especially, like sometimes I don't want to get on my forklift and go all the way to the drinking fountain or whatever. Like it's so beneficial to just have a water bottle on you. And you just get one of those Camelbacks.
That's what they say. Yeah. They say like people that actually, if you're going to drink water, you have to have it beside you all the time.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll just wait until you're actually thirsty.
Yeah.
Then you'll go get some. Where if you actually have it next to you, I'll drink all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look for a Camelback and just literally have a water source on me at all times. Except for it's like why not? Like why wouldn't you adapt that into your life? Because I'm the kind of person like I bought my cell phone is in a case that doubles as a cell phone case, a wallet, and it has a loop on it for a lanyard for a keychain. So I have I have those 3 things when I leave the house all in one thing, and I never have to separate them to wonder where they're at. If you just carry water on you on a Camelback all the time, you never have to worry about having a water bottle. But that's just like a new integration into your life. You either just carry water. I carry a clutch sometimes, and I feel super metrosexual. But it's weird. Like you can't let gender roles break the convenience of life. Joe Rogan is a huge advocate of fanny packs. Guess what? Fanny packs are clutches on a belt that go around your waist, and it's like just like men, stop fighting the fact that it might be beneficial to carry something like this, and don't be afraid to carry it in public, because guess what, I got all kinds of good shit in here you don't even know. I'm not gonna show you either.
Don't do that.
Or you can put that on a belt, put it around your waist, and that's a fanny pack.
I'm okay with that, but it has to be
I don't carry that in public. I carry that out of my house and into the car, and like
I can understand that.
You know,
well, I have a book bag that I do that with.
Right, and it's not because I'm consciously like afraid of my image. It's just because I don't want to carry it in public, because not that it looks weird, it's just it's convenient for me to put all my stuff in there, so I don't have to like riddle myself with anxiety filling my pockets and losing stuff. Because if you're the kind of person who loses things frequently, you have to be willing to accept the fact that you need to change things to better ease your mind and things that you can find.
I should get a fanny pack.
Right?
It needs to be a well-built one.
I love how Joe almost like tries to offer one to like everyone he comes on. If it comes up,
that makes them.
Yeah, it's so funny. He's all about it. But then you see a guy like Joe Rogan wearing a fanny pack, and like I've never encountered that in the wild.
I mean, back in the day,
right? When was the fanny pack invented? I want to see the patent for that thing.
I don't know when it was invented. It was like popular in like the 90s, wasn't it?
I bet there's like some ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs of a dude wearing a fanny pack.
It might be. Well, I mean, it's a fucking kangaroo. They invented the damn thing.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize kangaroos have built-in fanny packs.
Yeah, that's all it is.
All marsupials.
They have nipples on the inside.
Do koalas have those too?
I don't know. Koalas have chlamydia. That's what we know. That
is what we know for a fact, yeah. What if they had chlamydia and fanny packs, though? Marsupials
don't want to touch. I definitely don't want to touch their fanny pack. It's probably where they're storing the chlamydia.
That's very true. Wow. Yeah, that was a good spinoff right there.
So do kangaroos have chlamydia?
I don't think. I think it's just a unique koala thing.
It's probably from them eucalyptus leaves.
I think maybe it actually does have something to do with that.
I drank a eucalyptus shot one time, and they put a leaf in there. I thought you were supposed to eat the leaf. I chewed on that thing for like 15 minutes. It was the worst night of my life.
And then you had to go the next day get tested for STDs because you had chlamydia.
No, I actually had that. That got cleared up though.
Yeah, but with no interaction with a koala though. So
no,
that's funny.
Just a dirty woman. Update on. So I got an update on a cat. You didn't listen to the last episode. So I saw a cat and had an emotional breakdown. Its back leg was hurt and it was limping. It's a stray cat.
Okay.
It's hanging out outside my work.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
In the middle of like a populated area.
Yeah.
And, like I don't care about people, but that cat. That got to me. And it was right when I was leaving, so I actually got in the car, drove like 10 miles down the road, 5 miles down the road, got some cat food, and drove all the way back to work. And gave it some cat food, but it wouldn't come near me.
Okay. But you left the food out there for it?
Yeah, it's like, well, I actually bought 2 cans, and I left food out the next day, and then a coworker bought 5 more cans, so we have a cat now.
Nice.
But
trying to nurse it back a little bit?
Yeah,
somehow?
well, my buddy... Well, not buddy. One of the coworkers, he is picking up. Evidently, they have like fish-flavored penicillin.
Okay.
For like infections and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give the cat that. Hopefully, it's not allergic to penicillin.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm gonna be even sadder.
Yeah, that would suck. Dude, that's really cool. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to hear that, but dude, that makes me really happy because, I think people are consciously becoming more empathetic about the consciousness of other beings that are not human. Like, for some reason, I see people being empathetic toward situations of people or animals in a different position than themselves. And it's like an awakening. I really do believe we're in this weird age of awakening where people are coming to some realizations about empathy and sympathy, and that our human experience as individuals is extremely more connected than we think, because we may all just be viewing the same life through different pairs of eyes, right? And when you see a cat, like who is her, like when you see any kind of being that is alive in the same world we share, in any kind of pain except for the normal state of existence, something hits you. Like that's the negative thing of being human and having feelings and emotions, because we tend to operate off of those. But where those feelings of empathy and we're not feeling sorry for something, but just feeling its pain, I think that's uniquely human, and that's awesome that you say that, dude.
Well, I don't feel it towards people. Like,
that's the funny, right? And you know why? Because I think people are negatively motivated oftentimes. Like, it's way easy. Like, you know that more often than not, a cat or a dog doesn't have malevolent intent.
Right.
Or like, nothing, it's not...
And it can't help itself.
Exactly, and that's the huge thing. Like, if a dog breaks its leg, it's just going to lick it until it dies. Yeah. And, like, you can't imagine... Can you imagine not being a human and not having language and not having what we have as humans, but having your leg broken, like, you will suffer until you die, you won't be able to, you will die soon.
Exactly, you're not able to express anything. Exactly. You're hungry or nothing.
It's a very profound thing to think about when you can actually identify with it. Like, oh my god, what is it like to be an owl with a broken wing? Or
you ever seen an owl that go blind?
Owls that go blind? I don't think so.
It's the greatest thing ever. Their eyes look... It's kind of fucked up. I get it.
Yeah.
Calm down, people. But it looks like the universe in their eyes.
Oh, wow.
It crystallizes, and it just, like, they have, like... It looks like stars.
That's super interesting. Because, like, recently I've come to this, like, philosophical idea that the eyes really are the windows to the soul, I think, to every... living being.
Yeah, someone came up with that in like 1742, dude.
Right, I know. But no, it's very, very true, because without the light, nothing would be here. Like,
right.
But it's the duality of life. There is no light without dark. There is no good without bad.
Right.
And that's
So would you rather be blind or deaf?
That's a whole nother
thing.
It's not.
It's right now.
I would rather have no senses than any senses. I've come to that realization lately.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd rather be a rock?
I'd rather be like a plant. I'd rather be something that only has one means of experience than five. Because that is what's hard about getting old, I think, is losing those senses slowly over time. That's why people become senile, because the suffering gets worse. It's good until you get old, and then shit gets hard and you fucking go crazy because life isn't what it was. And that's why I think it truly is tragic to lose any kind of senses. I'd rather be born without them than lose them.
If you drink baby blood,
what?
You stay young.
And I'm like,
it's bone marrow actually, but
that's like
they found that out in
that's
mice.
What Alex Jones and Rogan were talking about.
They found it out in mice.
So what? Mice drank baby blood? Mice
No,
blood?
they injected an old mouse with young baby blood.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense when you say it like that.
Young bone marrow, nothing to do with blood. I'm just saying, if you're going to be injecting yourself with bone marrow, you might as well use
there were positive medical benefits of using.
How much bone marrow is in my pinky?
Right? But think, like, that always pains me to think about bone, like, working on pinky.
We could just go through a whole generation of people not having pinkies, and we could just supply the older generation with bone marrow.
That's true. I've heard bone marrow, like, really hurts to get taken, doesn't it?
Well, if we just take their whole fucking finger.
I imagine it like coring out a bone. Like
would a baby feel you rip off their finger?
I don't know. Does it feel circumcision?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure it fucking does.
Well, that's another thing, dude. Like, it just came into this world. It knows no other feeling. It's not familiarized with this plane of existence until that moment. So the big argument's like, no, of course it doesn't feel circumcision because it hasn't felt anything. Well, let me cut the foreskin of your penis off real quick.
But babies cry, like, when you do it.
Like, I was thinking about that. Has there ever been a baby born that wasn't crying out of the womb? Like, it's got to be such a traumatic thing.
They stop it from crying, and then they go in and they do the circumcision at a later time. And there's like
that's what Judaism is like.
Judaism's even worse.
It's an event later on.
They have a priest bite it off. I'm not even lying.
I know, and
legit.
I try not to think about it.
You try not to think about it? Did you ever see the report of the Jewish kid who got a circumcision from the rabbi?
Yeah.
And the rabbi had herpes and gave the little kid herpes because he bit the kid's dick.
What is this world? What is the world?
I don't fucking know. It's fucking weird.
It really is. But I don't know. You know, sometimes it's you cutting off pinkies. Sometimes it's foreskins.
Would you rather be circumcised or uncircumcised?
I don't like. It comes down to what you know, and what I know is what I am, which is circumcised, and it's just another. It's just like being Christian or just like being American. You have no choice over it.
Yeah,
if you're born into it until you can identify out of it, you are that.
Well, I don't think I would get my son circumcised.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. I think I do view it as genetic mutilation right now.
A little bit, but then again, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look more into it, honestly. They say it's for like health reasons, but there's like. Having the sleeve over the head is actually a good health reason. It covers the hole.
Exactly, yeah, and it's
more for appearance. From what I've looked into.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do more research on dicks, bro.
I will get on that. Don't you worry.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna move to our current event segment.
From a cat to talking about dicks. What is wrong with us, man? All right, go to the current event.
All right, our first current event. A couple episodes ago, I was talking about the measles outbreak here in America, in Washington, and I read another article on, I believe it is Daily Hive, maybe. But basically, it is saying that anti-vaxxers are posing to be one of the biggest global threats.
Top 10.
Top 10. Among
health
top 10,
concerns.
they are one of them. And
you know what some other ones are?
What's that?
Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Ebola. The HIV. HIV.
Right? And these are global medical threats to people. But the difference is,
measles is on that list now.
Yes. And these things are preventative. So,
cancer and all that stuff is, but measles is.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Exactly. Yeah, like there are global threats that you cannot prevent, and there are this one just happens to be one that you can. So that's really frustrating to read something that is affecting the globe, and you know that there's a solution to it. It's just like the solution of hunger, of world hunger. Right. There is enough food for everyone.
It's just how do you get it there?
Yes, and
that's the issue.
The people with the resources and the money who aren't interested to do so. There are people who do have money, like Bill Gates. Gates donates tons of money to all kinds of foundations and stuff. If the 1% of the world who had the wealth cared to feed the rest of the world who doesn't, it would get done because the means and resources would be there, but it's not.
Right.
So it doesn't happen. In this case, the means for solving the problem of anti-vaxxers is there, but people's own ignorance is what is preventing.
But it's not even hard to prevent measles. It's not a shot.
Yeah, it's not, and that's when you have to encroach on the territory of human free will. Do you make it a law and do you do it?
You need to let the parents decide whether or not to do it, and if their kids die from measles, guess what? One less car on the highway,
and that's how I'm looking at it now. That's how I'm looking at it now. Is like this: the population is growing at an overwhelming rate, and if we don't think about population control soon, we won't have to because it will take care of itself. And I think
with these dumb parents.
And I think this is the world's way of weeding out the stupid and dumb, and those who practice like this, their genes will not reproduce. And I'm not saying it to be a dick. I'm saying it because it's factual. Human evolution, like adaptability. You adapt to the world you live in by staying strong and having the correct attributes to survive in it.
And if we don't have the correct attributes, we have science
to help us understand what we need to change to adapt better.
And then we get a shot, and they make a shot,
and suddenly, and you get one, and then you give your child one, and they give their child one. And
no more measles. Measles are not even a thing anymore.
You truly can eradicate a disease off the face of the earth. Yeah.
These dummies.
Yeah. Would you rather eradicate a disease off the face of the earth, or have a disease eradicate the human face off the earth?
No. I would rather have the disease eradicate all the dummies not getting the vaccination.
And that's the thing. If it could only be selective.
Let's let this play out.
Yeah, exactly.
I got my vaccine. I ain't getting measles, man.
Yeah, we're Gucci.
Yeah, as long as nothing else bad as long as HIV don't come around.
Right.
So, the next current event is actually something that's close to my heart.
Alright.
The Sandlot, the movie. Have you ever seen The Sandlot?
Of course, man.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think my name is Patrick and I live under a rock and I live in the SpongeBob world?
You got a point.
I think
everybody's seen this fucking movie.
Right?
But they're actually coming out with a remake. But it's not going to be a remake.
Okay.
But it is going to be a remake.
It's a reboot.
I would call it a reboot.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually the story. Evidently, they're going to redo the same story.
Interesting.
With the same cast, but in TV show format.
Is it going to be live action or animated?
It was live. I mean, same cast. I'm thinking it's going to be.
Yeah, because I don't know how they're going to integrate those adults into it now. Like I said, it's probably going to be kind of like the Boy Meets World.
Yeah, it's probably going to be their kids.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Hollywood's running out of ideas because.
No, people are just stupid. They have no imagination.
That's true, yeah. Like people are almost afraid to be creative enough to think of a new idea.
Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Well, what's the dude that makes one of them makes all the horror movies?
Yeah.
And his shit's crazy.
I think Peele. Yeah, he did Get Out.
Yeah.
Won the awards. Yeah.
And he just did the next
Best
one.
new screenplay. I think.
What was that? What's the new one? This Is Us or something like that. Where it's like the same family comes to kill the people. Yeah. Like they look the same.
Okay,
Same people,
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Okay.
Though.
Well, I haven't seen it. I've just seen like.
I heard about that
clips,
part of it. Yeah.
And it actually looks pretty good.
And that's what's crazy. Like when something.
But it looks original. That's why it looks good.
And I think the originality is slowly peeling off of these kinds of things. So now people are like, oh yeah, that one thing that everyone was crazy about that one time in that 1 year. Yeah. Let's bring that back.
Yeah.
Let's take a chance that the people who loved that then are still alive and just want to revisit their nostalgia.
Right. But the show's actually in early stages. Like the guy, the actual creator of the show or of the movie, and the director, he actually sold the rights to his
the script or whatever.
Script. So and it has all the cast in it.
So I consider like a script would be intellectual property, right?
Yeah.
So with video games, I love new video games, like new intellectual properties.
Right.
But the big thing, no matter what kind of media it is someone really did have the original idea for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But as with most great things in life, they were probably not accomplished by one person.
Yeah.
And like my favorite band, the main front guy does all the story writing and songwriting and stuff, but it takes a band to make the music.
Right.
It's so hard to make anything greater than yourself with only yourself.
That's why there's two of us, because this thing's the shit.
Exactly, yeah. And
amazing.
And it's great that we both have the means to make something happen if we're not together too.
Right, exactly.
And that's the thing. You can't be afraid to be confident and
this is coming out twice a week no matter what.
Exactly, yeah. Like have confidence in yourself and have confidence in others.
I will record a podcast while I'm having sex if that's what it comes down to.
That was like
listen, woman, you need to shut up. Listen, fellas, dude, this is what I did over the weekend.
I'm picturing like a play-by-play narration podcast.
That's what you would hear a lot.
With like David Attenborough, like some old English guy narrating the moves.
I'm fine with that. No, come on now. Awesome. All right, let's go on to the next one.
All right, what's our next one?
SpaceX.
SpaceX.
This is all about you. This is Elon Musk,
Mr.
right?
Elon, yeah.
Smoking weed, trying to go out into space.
Exactly. What a cool dude. Like literally.
Cool? He's insane.
He is. He's just...
Why would you get in a rocket and go out? There's nothing up there. We've already discovered that. You gotta wear some stupid suit.
I just love that he sent a guy in an astronaut suit in a Tesla, and the Tesla is floating out in space right now.
It's just chilling.
Yeah,
what song?
Floating through the cosmos.
It's playing some song.
Yeah, I forget what he chose. But so basically SpaceX recently had a successful launch. If this is gonna work, maybe.
They did have a successful launch. There was no one in it.
Space shuttle?
Yes. Yeah. There was nobody in it. And what ended up happening is it's going to go to the space station, evidently, and dock up there and bring supplies to them.
SpaceX is a privately owned company by Elon Musk. Is it publicly traded on the stock market?
I don't know. He got in trouble for that. I don't think it's...
Yes, I think it might be public. But anyways, what I'm saying is a separate entity outside of the American government is now going to be handling NASA astronauts and stuff for space exploration, which is insane to me because that means we've reached a point where our government is now incapable of funding programs in order to push the boundaries of human exploration.
I wouldn't say it's incapable because
it's not prioritized.
Every time we would send a astronaut up in space, it would be in a Russian ship, and we had to pay them $18 million.
Yeah, and then we quit giving money to our own space program.
Well, yeah, but why would we build a rocket when they got rockets and we can just pay them money?
That's true, but yeah, that's when it comes down to which is worth more, your rocket or your money.
Right. Well, it would be our money rather than not paying it to Putin.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing with
Putin. I'm a big Putin fan, just by the way he looks. Not probably on any of his actions. Or whatnot.
There are terrible men on this planet who have committed terrible war crimes, but those are the men who exercise the most power over their dominion, which is a unique position for a human to be in. That's why Donald Trump is finding himself grasping at what to do with his life because he's never been here before and doesn't know how to.
Right.
But Putin is a dude who's boss at it, you know?
Yeah.
And he knows what he wants to do.
He has the coolest name ever for like a dictator, which I don't even think he's called a dictator.
Yeah, it's I forget. Russia's communist, right?
Putin. I think so.
I think so too. We might sound like idiots if we don't know.
We are.
But that's like, democracies are different. The different forms of government.
Let's not talk about government. We just made the biggest idiots out of ourselves.
Yeah, and no, it's not. Like, to me, I'm not ashamed of it because I'm willing to admit what I don't know. And if you, as a listener, aren't willing to admit what you don't know, you're an ignorant human being, and you will not get very far in life.
But nothing else
pretending like you know about government and democracies and things and chiming in the conversation will not help anyone, and you just look like the fool. Yeah. So I'd rather look stupid and admit I don't know and take speculation. And guess what I'm going to look up when I get done with this podcast?
I would rather.
What kind of government Russia and all those things?
But plus, nothing else matters. Fucking democracy, baby. That's what fucking matters.
Capitalism, like I got
1776. That's the start of fucking history. Fuck all that.
Yes, all men were created equal. Let me sign this. And oh yeah, hey slave, can you get me a cup of water?
Listen, they weren't Christians. That's why they were allowed to be slaves.
Yeah, I know, right? And like I got into an argument with my dad about that, but it made me realize, yes, the men who created the document that we run our country off of said all men are created equal, and they were the ones who owned slaves. But also, nothing in the world history has ever been accomplished without, unfortunately, the incorporation of human slaves. Like most civilizations were founded upon the capturing and utilization of other people. Like, how do you think the pyramids got built? Like, how do you think
aliens?
Yeah, right. It was either aliens or just a huge slave army. And like, slavery is a story in the Bible. It's a story of American history.
Right.
And and my dad pointed out to me, like, some of the slaves who came here to America were captured by other tribes, and then instead of like, hey, don't take our people, we'll go capture you some people to get. Which is like, that's smart, but
smart for those people. Yeah, humans are to be captured.
Yeah, humans are brutal, man, and like that's the plain thing of it. So long story short, don't want to go up to space with you anymore, Russia. Elon Musk is just going to light up a doobie, and you guys are going up in the Dragon.
I would, if he was smoking weed, I would hop up in that space shuttle.
Right?
Like, what are we doing, man?
But here's the thing: like, Elon Musk is such a smart dude, right? Here's how smart he is. He developed the intellectual means to fund not only an electric car, not only space exploration, but do you think he'll be on the spaceship first time it goes up? No, he's really smart. He's not stupid. He's not going to be on there.
He's also digging tunnels.
Right, yeah. The Boring Company. Yeah. He's inventing a new means of transportation underneath the current existing one in California. And you know why he did it when Joe asked him? He's like, I just hate traffic. He hates sitting in traffic himself. And he feels like he wastes too much of his life on it. So he took it upon himself to develop a new solution to solve his most aggravating problem. Do that yourself, people. Try to solve your own most aggravating problem.
Do you think he'd be good at chess? Or do you think he'd just overthink the shit way too much?
I really don't know, man. Or do you
think he would just have it all mapped out?
Chess is one of those games that, like, robots can do it really good, and
I've never beat the robot.
Yeah, me either. We've gotten so smart to a point, yeah. And like, there's another game that's really old called Go, I think. There's a documentary about it on Netflix. It's like an Eastern game, like before chess and checkers and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, we finally reached a point with artificial intelligence that we could program a computer to predict so many moves ahead that they almost can beat us, but there's still a few like chess grandmasters that can hang with computers.
Those guys are the biggest losers.
That blows my mind so much, dude. It's so scary to think about.
Ever.
To think about the human.
And what's the whole clock thing?
I think you have a certain amount of time to make your move, and then they have to hit the timer in order to switch the time over to the other person.
But it doesn't like restart. So who's keeping hold of that clock? Who's keeping count?
Are you a professional chess player?
Yeah, please let me know.
Because we have so questions that we need answered, including ones about Russia.
Yeah, and I don't even care about chess. But you can send us your information about it. Maybe I will care. That's
what we got to do next week. Like every week, we need to have a remember that segment where we come back and just loosely answer the things that we had questions about last episode.
Deal.
Let's try that.
Deal.
So not only do we don't just do pointless speculation, we actually force ourselves to do a little bit of research and provide ourselves some answers.
You look up Russia's government.
Okay.
And I will look up chess.
That sounds good, yeah.
Because
chess officials and boxes.
With you looking up Russia's government, they are more likely to kill you.
I'll get on the list, and you'll get on the list. Yeah.
I am already on the fucking list, my dude. Don't you fucking worry. That's
true. Okay, so third segment this week we've got
fifth segment.
Yeah, a little
fifth.
Fifth?
Yeah, they go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know, but you wrote them.
4. Yeah, I wrote them.
Okay. It's all good.
It's actually a giant ass spider in the Amazon. Mm-hmm. And evidently the spider is as big as a dinner plate. It's a tarantula.
I've heard of a couple of those. Never seen one. And it's got to be horrifying.
It killed a possum and then picked it up and walked away with it.
Brutal. Straight alien. Like, people are like, oh, let's go out into space and find aliens. No, they're here and they have 8 legs and they're called arachnids and whatever class of family that octopus are. Because they're aliens, bro.
Yeah, octopus are crazy.
They both have 8 legs and one lives in water and one lives on land. They're aliens that have developed into our world.
Well, crabs are close.
I think
spiders.
Crustaceans. I think that branch, like the way that the animal life branches outwards, is mind-boggling.
Well, did you know we're closer in like relation with like pigs and rats than chimpanzees?
I think I heard that recently, but also we share 50% of the same DNA as a banana.
Really?
Yeah, that was a Rogan bit back in the day.
I didn't know that.
He's like, "Is that a banana in my pocket, or am I just happy to see you?"
That's disgusting.
But yeah, like that's what's crazy about life in itself. Like we're all missing the big picture because we all do share some genetic likeness with everything.
There was a tarantula that could carry your head off, and we need to talk about this.
Yeah, that's true. So,
do you think that's the biggest one there is, or do you think there's bigger ones? Because I'm betting you there's bigger ones.
I hope there's somewhere in the forest. There's like a house size.
It would be in the jungle since it's the Amazon, but
I want it to be like at least the size of a car.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that would be epic.
I want like big ass
sci-fi big, yeah. Not like Sharknado.
What would you do?
I don't know, man.
I'd probably take a couple legs off and keep it as a pet.
I would look for its web because that would be epic.
How thick that would be? Yeah,
it would be because spider silk is stronger than steel.
It depends on what type, but yes.
Yeah, it has a bunch of qualities to it. Like basically, we found out about spider silk, and then I think we as humans developed Kevlar, right?
Yeah,
something like
that.
That's
how that happened.
And that's what's mind blowing. So if you had a spider that big, there would be I often wonder if animals were of different sizes, how would that change their position in the animal kingdom in terms of predator prey? Yeah. So
even the usefulness for humans.
That's true, yeah, because then we could just literally harvest spider webs and turn them into stuff.
Yeah.
Just like we do sheep wool and stuff like that. Human ingenuity, man.
Pigs, bacon.
Pigs and bacon, and yeah. People say pigs are really smart, but it's like, how do you define smart?
They are. They know.
Like, dogs are really smart too. Like, I don't know how someone could call a pig smart and a dog dumb or a dog smart, but we have pets as cats too. Like, pets don't come down to intelligence. Food comes down to projection. Like, we don't eat dogs because we keep them as pets. We eat pigs because we don't.
Right.
Intelligence comes down to defining what smart is, and we don't know how smart dogs are, but we let them guide blind people. And we don't know how smart pigs are, but we eat them.
You know ravens had no water displacement?
Yeah, and they also, like, ravens are crazy, bro. Ravens and crows are
They're so smart.
They really are. They can, like, there's been reports of them keeping track of people, like, kind of stalking people.
Really?
Yeah, I think I read some report.
Russians probably have part of it. I guarantee it. That sounds like a Russian shit.
Definitely some Russian ravens, bro. That sounds like a dope band name.
Hey, that's trademarked.
Don't take that.
Oh, shit. I might start an improv group with him. Wait, what?
Exactly.
Russian ravens.
Well,
Russian ravens.
The Russian ravens, bro.
But we're going to spell it different than Russian.
Yeah. Rushin.
Yeah. And we'll just do, like, bits about Neil Peart.
And bird songs.
Okay. We're going to talk about birds here in a minute, but let's talk about your 16-year-old who is changing the world in a dramatic way. And I wish he was 16 when I was in high school.
16, yeah. Super cool. I forget what country she's from. I want to say it's like...
I didn't even see.
Let's see. Exclusive. Students issue an open letter ahead of a global day on March 15th when young people are expected to strike across 50 nations.
51 countries.
Yeah.
500 different setups that they're going to have walkouts. So that's probably 500 different schools, I imagine.
I hope they don't do the school walkout thing. Like,
that's what it is. They're 16 years old. What else are they going to do? What else are they going to walk out of?
I know.
Their parents' house? But it's like, cool. Go outside and play.
See, yeah, they don't...
It's school.
Yeah. And that's the whole women's movement, right? Like, did all the women who went out to the women's march take off of work to do it, or were they excused from work? Like,
no, a lot of them got fired.
Yeah, we're reaching a point with our political ideologies that we feel like we need to push them above all other responsibilities in life, and that's what's odd, because responsibilities shouldn't overtake politics, and politics shouldn't overtake responsibility. It should be a meeting of minds where things that are important come together, and we can coexist as humans in a society where we realize what violent threats we are up against.
But then you have to decide what's most important and work on that.
And exactly. I guess that's what policy and politics come down to.
Different countries are working on different shit.
But it just makes me happy that this 16-year-old has only been on this earth for 16 years. Of those years, maybe
how many seconds
7 of them. I'm bad at math.
I'm bad at math.
So, like, how many of her 16 years has she been involved in this intellectual thought about the planet? And clearly she's spent more time thinking about it than most of us have, because she's felt compelled to go to like 4 different countries in a span of 8 days to speak publicly. Not most 16-year-olds can get in front of their class confidently and present a report.
I couldn't.
Let alone go to 4 different countries and talk in front of huge crowds to motivate people to wake up. That there will be no Earth for our future kin and families if we don't protect it now.
And why do we care about those people?
Let's
have fun now.
Do you think that your great-grandfather and great-grandmother cared about you?
Yeah.
They did, but they didn't know you, and they didn't know you were going to be here, but they wanted this planet to be here for you. And we have to touch people in those kinds of ways, because it's not about what you know about, it's not about what you think you know about what you think. It's what you know about what you think about. Right? So,
dude, you just fucking lost me. I'm stoned and you're saying the same thing in different ways. I don't know what's going on.
And it was kind of a confusing thing to say. If you listen to it back, it should make sense. But, this girl at least is reaching people and making news lines about something other than...
something that she cares about. She's not twerking.
Yeah, it's not...
she's not catching me outside.
It's not bullying. Yeah. It's not like something that really, like...
It's climate change. She's trying to change the world for the better. Yes. And that's what we all need to do.
This does affect all of us.
Everybody walk out of your job on March 15th. Support this girl.
Yeah,
you will not get fired. That is a quote from Brandon.
And if you don't walk out, at least, in your office, don't cause any political arguments or anything.
Pull your dick out.
Do that and then say, fuck climate change.
I thought you meant like your personal office. You meant like the office. Don't pull your dick out, people. Don't do that.
Yeah, but wherever you're at, if you have like-minded individuals that think the same way you do,
all of you pull your dicks out,
and you want to make it known that you believe climate science is climate change is a threat for the future, just share that thought and ideas and unify with the other minds and conscious people of the world that are putting that thought out there at the same time that day. So that's
then have a decent debate, not an argument, not yelling at someone.
Have a meaningful debate. The idea is that debate should not turn into argument, it should turn into understanding. Yeah. You should
trying to learn. You should try to learn coming away.
If you don't come away from a debate or argument with more understanding, you have missed the point and wasted both people's time. Mm-hmm. So, all right, that's mine for the week. But you got one for the storybooks on this one.
It is a kind of a current event because it deals with opium, and opium is a giant issue in today's
It's rocking the face of the nation here with a little bit of fentanyl mixed in.
And it's not only in this nation.
Not only here.
Actually, they have a big problem with opium abusers in India.
India is the most densely populated country on the planet, I believe.
Yeah, so no wonder they have opium problems. There's a lot of people there, right?
I think there's more people in India than there are China. Think about that.
But we're not talking about the people. Because it's not the people that have the opium.
Okay, yeah.
It's the parrots.
It's the parrots, baby.
The parrots. They're coming in and they are claiming 3 to 4 grams of heroin apiece.
And
sometimes they're coming back multiple times a day. Like, they are addicted. Some of them are ripping the whole plant out of the ground and flying off with it.
That's
like, this is mine now.
That's heavy, boy.
But think about how great that would be.
If you see a parrot flying around with some poppy plants.
Well, no, but like, parrots don't have to pay for the drugs. I just like
Right?
they just fly around. What cop is going to pull that dude over?
I just picture like a gang of rainbow parrots chilling, like all 5 or 7 of them in the group, just like syringes out and like pipes and foil, and they're just chilling like, bro, take a rip of this, you know, like
they'll never get arrested.
Just all nodding off.
They can just fly away. I don't know anything about opium. It's heroin, right?
It's like heroin derives from opium,
right?
But opium can be consumed in multiple ways.
You can smoke it, right? That's what Bruce Lee did.
You have to
Yeah, he did. That's how he relieved pain.
I gotta fact check you on that one. But you can just take a poppy plant.
Yeah.
And
can you put it in tea?
Yes. And then that will release the opium into the tea, and you can drink that, and you'll get a nice relief.
Have you ever done like marijuana tea or something like that, or like?
Yeah, that's the weird thing about like the infusing of chemicals and molecules into other things. Like that's why water is the basis of life, because it provides a soluble solution for things to move around in. It is the container for things to move in that are microscopically small. So. Yeah, that's what I consider chemistry to be modern day alchemy, right? It's taking these little molecules and things that we can't see, moving them all around, putting them under different states of pressure and heat, and getting something different out of the process than you started with. So that's exactly what that is, and that's what drugs are. That's what medicine is. Often medicine is synthetically made to produce chemicals that weren't in that state initially. And the only reason I think that Bruce Lee didn't do heroin is because I know a fair bit about Bruce Lee.
I didn't say heroin. I think he did opium.
That would make more sense, because I think of heroin because I used to be a heroin addict, and I don't understand why I used to do it, but I now know why people do it. Like, I still look back on it like it never happened, because it feels like a dream and I wasn't that person. Yeah. But I realize now why I did it and why I became that person, because if you watch Game of Thrones, in Game of Thrones they have this thing called milk of the poppy, which they give people who are dying on their deathbed. And it's really because opium puts this warm blanket over your existence. Doesn't matter what the problem is.
Is that what heroin
you will forget it. Yeah, it's like the warmest blanket that, like, not only does it make you warm if you are cold, it does that emotionally, physically, on all levels, so you can just forget the world and not out. And like eventually you'll come to. But
so you're telling me heroin's a good drug? You're trying to talk me into
It's
it?
a good drug for people who are dying and suffering pain.
I don't think I'm dying or suffering pain, but the way you explain it, I don't know.
Yeah, it will take away all of your problems, and you will want to revisit it as soon as you're done. Like, that's what's dangerous.
There's no way I'll do it.
And that's why the shamans of the ancient world knew these special medicines to give people.
That's why these parrots are coming back 3 or 4 times a day.
These parrots aren't stupid.
These parrots are gangsters, man.
Like they're
stealing all the drugs from the drug dealers. Oh my gosh! What if someone owns the parrots?
Oh, and it's like a ring. Like
they're bringing the opium back. They're selling it.
This could be the first cross species.
We need to not record this. We need just to train parrots how to do this.
We can get parrots here, bro. We can bring this here.
Yeah, it's not...
Make it global.
It's not a crime to own a parrot.
Nope.
And it's not a crime if our parrot gets killed.
That's true.
So the drug dealers will be cool too.
And I don't think it's illegal for parrots to buy opium.
Or to have it on them. We'll just store it on them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think human law applies to other species.
Well, how would they... Yeah,
we're not going down for the rap, we can't.
Dude, we got the... Well, I don't think we can own them. Yeah, if anybody has any parrots out there...
If you're looking to get rid of that macaw you got in the cage over in the corner, just let us know.
You can send them to 555-677. I'm not giving my address out.
Extension 724. Okay, so...
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's...
They'll be listening to this on Sunday. So we'll be pretty much just talking about what we're going through with the week, and we got stand-up on Tuesday.
Yes, we do, on Tuesday. And then next, so stand-up on Tuesday, we'll have another episode, and then next week's Friday episode, I think we're going to be talking about a couple different things, but I want to tell the story of my recent psychedelic experience.
Run with it. Run with it right now.
Yeah, I don't want to tell the whole thing right now because I still need to churn it over.
And it's already been an hour, so.
But yeah, I'm sure that you guys have heard of the recent buzz about a drug called DMT. It is... I can't put it into words, and that's why I want to dedicate a whole good chunk of time to it with my cohesive thoughts, maybe even something written. But I just want to say beware to listeners, you know. As I just mentioned, I used to have a heroin addiction, you know. Like, I chased drugs for a long time because they were new experiences.
Right.
And eventually got out of the dark place with them and then reached a point where I realized there's good drugs and there's bad drugs and there's medical drugs and there's ancient world drugs.
Right.
There are different means to these states of consciousness. And I had done acid and shrooms and a couple different things before. But I tried this DMT and it was the most profound experience I've had in my life thus far.
And we're going to leave it right there.
Yeah. And I'll tell you more about that because you're going to want to hear it. And if you are considering doing it, I suggest you listen to as many stories and experiences that other people have had, because it is not one you can put into words. You can only hope to grasp for words close enough to describe it.
Right.
All right, guys. That should be maybe next week. Our stand-up set. We'll figure something out in between. Check out. But we got a couple different things started right now. We got our social media up. We got Patreon. We're on the iTunes store. We're gonna get on the Play Store.
Patreon, the Joker and the Smoker podcast. You can support us there. Twitter, it's at Jokin and Smokin. JOKIN.
Okay.
AN.
Okay.
SMOKE.
Gotcha.
And then the Joker and the Smoker at Gmail. And then also Instagram, which is just the Joker and the Smoker.
And hopefully wherever you're watching it at, those will be links and clips down below in the description. And
we're on iTunes, bitch.
Yes.
We are on iTunes.
We are people. Like, everybody knows somebody who has a YouTube channel. Now, if you know us, we're that people.
Right. That's right.
And it's cool, you know. We're hopefully the video and audio is only going to get better. If you guys are interested in the Patreon, something that could help us is a $1 donation. You know, you don't have to do it every week or every day. You can do a one-time $1 donation.
Yep, just show love.
And guess what I'm going to do with that $1?
I got to set that up on Patreon first.
Yeah.
But
and that's the thing.
By the time they listen to this,
we have no idea what we're going to do with your $1, but we can promise you that we're going to use it to contribute towards this and to hopefully...
parrots, bro.
Parrot.
We're buying parrots.
That's exactly it. Well, it's been a good week, man. I'm looking forward to the one that comes ahead.
Yes. All right, man. This is a good episode.
That was awesome. It's been the Joker and the Smoker, and we will see you guys next time.
Later. Yes.